Today, I'm going to use this to solve a major problem. We built our homestead high and dry. It's about 40 feet higher than our local river, but even that won't save us. In the spring, the forest naturally floods, but thanks to many recent storms, fallen trees have caused natural damming. And each year, the water threatens our homestead for about 2 months. That's why I created this swale to divert water from the forest, as well as this culvert. That way we can still access our land even when there's a ton of water. But it's not enough. That's why today I borrowed my father-in-law's machine and we're going to restore the natural drainage in the forest. First, let me show you what we're dealing with. So up from above, I can show you that the forest heads downhill for about 1 kilometer towards our house. There's large swamps that hold water for most of the year, and in the springtime, millions of gallons of water saturate the forest and the flooding starts. The natural swales used to divert the water downhill through the creek beds, but they've been blocked by a ton of trees and matter, which is causing the water to divert to the rest of the forest and then flooding where we are. So today we're gonna fix that. Do you remember last week when I was cutting some extra wood out of the creek bed here? Well, this is one of the major drainages for that swamp up ahead. So this is downhill, we've got our culvert here, and then this is where the creek goes uphill. Now it's all blocked in there. Okay, let's get on the machine and get going. So it's a little wet, but it's actually pretty decent. I waited till this part of the season until I was gonna do anything, because I wouldn't be able to get in here otherwise. I would have just immediately gotten stuck. So not only do I have to clear the way, but after I've cleared an entire way, I have to dig a trench so that the water can flow nicely. Let's get a better view by opening this. Okay. I mean, ideally, I would love to just come in here and chip it all and clean it and throw it onto the forest floor, but realistically, that's just a ton of time. And I'm only making a thin lane anyway back to the swamp, about maybe 100 meters or so. So it's not really worth it. So let's quickly double check the path that I want to go on here. So it's a straight line with the creek right now coming this way, but I want to make sure I want to create a nice path that's easy for me without taking down a ton of trees. So far, it looks like just literally straight across here is going to work out. My hope is that I don't have to grab a saw to cut anything. I'm hoping I can just pull it all out, and it looks like we're going to be pretty successful so far. I apologize for all the shaking and the noise. Not much I can do about it in a machine like this. Oh yeah, just pulls it out like nothing. I have to be careful of that deadfall stuff though. I want to make sure I'm not hitting anything that's directly above the machine and will come down on the machine. We want to keep the machine nice, obviously. But you see all these birch limbs, they all came off this spring. They don't seem to be blocking much, but just what you've seen in the past 20 feet here, that's all over the entire property. Okay, so you can see the spot's a lot cleaner now. I've got a trail coming through. I'll make sure that I have access all the way to where I'm stopping, and then I'll come back and I'll dig that trench. So I believe I'm at the lowest point I can access at the edge of the swamp. That way once it starts flowing, it's gonna catch all of it, well, most of it. There's so much water here that even with this trench, I think that the culvert I made over there will still get a ton of water, which is fine. I just wanna make sure I can divert the majority of it to prevent flooding elsewhere. But yeah, so now I'm gonna start trenching. The idea here is that there's already a gradual slope of where I came from. So if I just dig buckets depth all the way down, heading back that way, we'll create a flow. I'm sure you've noticed on a bunch of my videos here on the property, everything is sand. I mean, everything. Our well is 100 feet deep, and 100 feet of drilling is pure sand. Oh, look who came to check out the trench. Hey, Sadie. Oh yeah. You love it? So it's the next day. It only took another hour to finish, but I got busy and worked on some other stuff. So let's see what we've got. Right there is the culvert, and you can see this is where we started. I just made a bit of a trench there, but it looks like we're pretty good. We have a trench heading all the way down through the forest. Sadie loves whenever we dig stuff. She's super into it. So I'm fairly certain we've solved 90% of where the water is gonna go to where we dug our ditch here. But if you remember, we have our culvert. I know that a lot of water comes from this side of the forest as well. I'm hoping it's mostly from that. But just in case it isn't, I'm gonna make sure to dig a small ditch just so that there's no blockages in there and it's easily going to flow back into our culvert we created. And the other thing I want to do is reopen reopen a trail in the forest here. It's been closed off for a number of years now because of fallen trees and stuff like that. I haven't got around to it. So while I've got the machine, I might as well get in there, move all the big stuff out of the way and open it again, because it's really nice to have trails, not only for the summer to walk around, but in the winter, taking the snowmobile through is way too much fun. The trail's all cut in. Luckily, it wasn't too hard. That machine makes light work of everything. It's nice and cleaned up now. I mean, as you saw, there's trees everywhere from all these storms we've been getting. And it's nice that we have the path. Sadie absolutely loves exploring the forests and just doing her thing. She's crazy. But it's so nice to have things cleaned up. Even though this isn't the immediate vicinity of the homestead, even though the trail's cleared and you can actually easily walk on it now, it's such a good feeling. So after this video, I'm encouraging you guys to go get something done. It can be anything, that thing that's been sitting in your garage for 9 months that you've been meaning to do, or something to fix in your home, just get it done. And earlier this morning, I made a fresh trail. That way, our clearing that we made last fall, you can actually circle around it. So through here, I made a fresh trail that goes all the way through the forest and connects up with the main trail that goes to the back of the property. And that way there's a nice loop. It really shows you that when you have the right tools, how quickly you can get something done. That's why borrowing and trading tools is fantastic. This didn't take me long at all. It only took about an hour and a half of clearing. I didn't have to pull up any standing trees. It was mostly just trees crisscrossed and fallen from previous storms, and it's a great little trail now. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the tractor and I'm gonna tow behind me the homemade grader. It's literally just a steel grate. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna plow the hills and the troughs of the sand and smooth things out, level it out. I'm gonna do it on the 2 trails I cleared, as well as the front yard, which I finally leveled off. And that way it's gonna clean everything up. It's gonna make it so much nicer come springtime when there's not bumps everywhere and it's easy to walk on, and it'll finally compact down into a nice level surface. But that's it for us today. I'm so glad that we finally got the drainage done. Come spring, we'll see if it actually makes a big difference. Hopefully it does. We also got done the 2 trails that have needed to be cleared, and that's gonna make a really nice addition to the walks we do almost every day. And let's give a hand to this freaking machine. I'm so fortunate that I'm able to borrow it, and I try not to borrow it ever. I try to do the things that I can with what I've got, but sometimes you do need to do something like this. Luckily, you can always rent these machines. It's an amazing machine, but I'm gonna remind you guys again to go get something done. Go work on some project that you've been meaning to do. It feels so good once you're done. So please go ahead, finish your projects. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. Hopefully I've earned your subscription, and I'll see you on the next video.